Joining us right now to talk about this more is Cedal Neely, a Harvard business professor and author of Remote Work Revolution, and Tom Gimbel, who is LaSalle Network's founder and CEO. And Tom, let's start with you on this. This became a much trickier question. For a while, it didn't seem like as big of a deal, but now that you see the breakthrough vaccinations and people who, even if they're doing everything they can to protect themselves, may be putting themselves and their family at risk, it changes the scenario a little.
I'm not sure if it does, Becky. What we have is a situation where a year ago, did we think that we would have to have vaccination? Did we think that the President of the United States would say that government agencies and such would have vaccination only, or state governors would say that nursing homes have to be vaccinated only to work in them in hospitals? And so it's just evolving. We're in a state of evolution, and the booster shot is the next phase. And like everything else we do, we're going to prejudge and pre-worry and get concerned about it. But if we just let things take its course, and we'll see how things go and progress with the change of season and going into the fourth quarter of the year, my guess is there will be a requirement for the third shot, for the booster, just like there was for 2 vaccine shots. And the companies that want to be vaccinated only will stay that way, and they'll include that codicil, and the ones that don't, won't.
But Tom, at this point, you're probably talking 25% or so of companies that are actually requiring it. That maybe will start to grow as you've seen full approval that comes in. But we haven't seen too many moves, at least to this point.
Well, we're also only talking about the large companies that get public attention, that when they make a rule, everybody talks about it. There's a lot of small and medium-sized businesses that get lost in the shuffle that are the key to the employment engine that we always talk about on Jobs Friday, that we have to look at and say, what are those companies doing? What are the companies that manufacture and distribute key products and drivers and people at the registers and retail stores? And a lot of them are vaccine only. And I think there's a lot more out there than what we're seeing from the Fortune 500.
Cedal, this is a pretty contentious issue, though, on both sides of the aisle, both sides of the issue, I should say.
It is. Yet the voluntary policies that the companies and the government has been pursuing has reached its limit. The only way that we'll get a hold of this virus or control it is if companies, employers get in the mix and begin to mandate the vaccines, especially now that the Pfizer one has been fully approved by the FDA. This is important, especially as we think about the return to work policies. We need to make sure, and employers need to make sure, that everyone feels safe, and the assurances can only come if you have high rates of vaccinated employees.
Although, Cedal, there are a lot of employers who maybe are a little reluctant to do this right now because they're already having trouble finding employees.
That is the greatest dilemma at this point. This concern around, do we turn people off if we mandate the vaccine? What will happen to our labor? But the flip side to this is that there are many employees who say we will refuse to go into work if we don't feel safe there. Mm-hmm. So how do you think about this? This is a matter of compliance. This is a matter of physical safety, and employers have the responsibility to create conditions for people to be safe, not only themselves, but their ecosystem, their families, their children under the age of 12. So vaccinations is no longer a matter of choice, optionality, etc. It's a matter of health and progress at the firms.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.